welcome back to another episode of the Ask Mrs. HR podcast. Do you want to be unstoppable in your life and your career? Well, my next two guests will tell you how. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Ask Mrs. HR podcast. As I mentioned, we all, in some way, want to be unstoppable. But do you know how to be unstoppable? Well, today we are going to learn from two amazing women, two amazing doctors. And I just was thinking about this. Why are all my friends doctors? Oh, because I'm a doctor? I don't know. But you better look around your circle, see who's in your circle. But today you're going to meet two amazing women. And I'm going to introduce you to the first one on my right side, sitting with me in the studio, Dr. Carla Gray. So, as you know, I read the bio, so I get it right. So, Dr. Carla is the CEO of Gray's Greatness Group, who's a greatness strategist and transformation coach with a PhD in leadership. She is an award-winning mentor and coach, a professional trainer, and a co-host on the Word for the Day Mastermind Daily live stream. She holds certifications in leadership, relationship coaching, and life coaching, human behavior, K-12 administration, teacher education, and safe conversations communications model by Dr. Harvell Hendricks, Oprah Winfrey's relationship therapist. That was a really interesting nugget. So welcome, Dr. Carla Gray.
Well, thank you. I'm so grateful to be here.
So the next person on my left to me is Dr. E.P. McKnight. Well, I gotta position myself here. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
So let me tell you about Dr. E.P. Dr. E.P. is a best-selling author who has a PhD in performance psychology. She is the CEO of EP Fit, where she is a certified fitness instructor, consultant, and coach. She is life goals for me because I'm trying to suck everything in over here. So encouraged to have her
Thank you.
here as an example. So Dr. EP is also the founder of Nikeo Imani Productions. Nikeo Imani Productions, where she is a playwright, actor, producer, and former TV host of Breaking Through with EP. Check it out. As well as an international performer of 3 one-person shows. So I got a lot to talk about here. We'll see if we need to have a part 2. So welcome so much, both of you. I'm going to be looking at both of you like this. And so tell me, whoever would like to start first, how did you two even connect? How did you decide that you were going to do business together?
Dr. Carla?
Dr. Carla.
Very interesting.
Okay.
We met during the pandemic on Zoom. We're both Toastmasters, which that allows us to learn public speaking skills and leadership skills. And there was just this connection. She invited me to one of her meetings. I attended. I was so fascinated with her speaking skills and all that she brings to the table. She reached out about 6 months ago and asked me to be a part of a podcast. Amazingly, that's on my vision board. It was just a no-brainer. Yeah. I said, absolutely. And we connected and have been working on Unstoppable Solutions for about 6 months. We just launched and we just had this amazing connection. One thing we have in common, we're here in California, but we're both Mississippians.
Oh, that's amazing. You don't hear that too often.
Yeah, so she has a skill set and I have one, and we're just so compatible as we grow our business as well as grow ourselves.
Nice. So what would you say is your skill set?
My skill set falls under leadership. I love developing people both personally and professionally. And one of the things I do is help people to just become aware of themselves, self-discovery, self-love, and then use those entities to be great, have greatness in their lives.
Love it, love it. I was watching your podcast and you were talking a lot about self-worth, and I was getting a lot of nuggets from it. So I'm going to have a lot more questions about that, about self-worth. And how do you know when you're struggling with self-worth? Self-worth. How do you know when you're struggling? Because I feel like I'm confident, and then all of a sudden I'm like, am I confident? Am I struggling? What's going on?
That's a great question. When I meet people, I really give them an assessment. And my first question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate yourself so far as loving yourself? And so that's a good question. And then generally I get an answer. It could be mostly less than a 10. And if it's a 10, that's great. My follow-up question is, why? Why did you give yourself that rating? As I listen to most people, and according to research, there's only 15% of the world that actually loves themselves. And that's staggering because
15%.
15%. And it's actually aligned to your question. Why is that? It's because self-worth is aligned to external factors. External factors such as money, careers, being popular, image, and that bank account. And once
So when you're in the negative during the month, and what you're saying is you should still love yourself. When your checks are bouncing, isn't that so? Okay, this is my question. Isn't that an indication of you not taking care of yourself though? When you don't, and I've been there, no judgment, but when you have negative balance, your checks are bouncing, doesn't that show a lack of love for yourself, that you haven't been responsible to take care of yourself?
that could be it. What I try to do is help people to understand that love is a choice. And loving yourself has nothing to do with what you have, but who you are. As we work to look at self-worth, it's actually what we give ourselves so far as qualities: patience, kindness, self-compassion, respect, and self-respect. So when we try to tie ourselves to all that exterior, then we actually are giving ourselves what we call conditions. Wow. So it's not even love. It's not even love. Has nothing to do with what we acquire or what we have.
Wow. Okay, hold that thought because I want to hear what Dr. EP has to say. So you two are working together. What's your skill set? I know fitness, and that's one thing I have to say to anyone watching. They both are extremely fit. They both are fit.
Thank you.
Yes, and it's an inspiration. So tell me about your skill set. I know you're an actress, fitness coach. I mean, you tell me. I don't want to give you titles.
Well, my skill sets kind of evolved, is very vast, from the performance arts to the physical arts. And of course, I am a gym bunny. I love the gym, and I try to represent what I am. For example, when teaching my fitness classes, I've had instructors before I became a fitness instructor, and I would look at them, and some of them would not represent what they're doing. And I thought, if I ever became a fitness instructor, I'm going to represent. When I walk in there, I want people to say, I want to do that. I want to look like this. So my thing in terms of fitness is to encourage people, to let them know that fitness is a lifestyle change. It also begins inside and come outward. It's not about the outward person. It's the inward person that will drive the outward person to be successful in terms of their lifestyle changes. So I'm always telling people, it's not about just looking good. That's a plus. But it's also about living your best life. You know, from a solid perspective, because according to the CDC, 40% of the people in this country are obese. Now, why is that? Because they're sedentary. And now with the computer age, what do? Our fingers are in better shape than we are.
Yeah.
So my goal is to encourage people to, no matter what age or what ethnicity, is work out. Get up in the morning, have a regimen workout, and just kind of drive your car the way you want it to go and do what you have to do and commit and be consistency. I saw your eyes.
I was thinking about the employees that I work with, honestly, and I was thinking about, I've been fortunate enough to work in organizations where I support hundreds of people at any given time, and they all, like, at least 95% of them had excuses of why they couldn't work out. One of the things we would do as HR people is we would give, um, incentives to go to the gym and practically pay for the gym so they'd be healthy. So again, I always tell the audience, the company is doing this to get to be more productive. And so what makes a company more productive? Having healthy people. But with all of that said, so many excuses. Well, I can't get to the gym before work. I can't get up early. By the time I get home, I'm tired. And it's just like this vicious cycle. And these are the same people, whom some of them may be listening right now, that are struggling in the workplace because they don't have that inner discipline to even stop and take care of themselves. So that's why I was making that face, because I just heard a bunch of people like, well, I can't get up. I can't go to the gym. I don't like the gym. I don't want to be in the gym. I don't like people at the gym. So how do you deal, both of you, can either both of you answer, with these excuses? Because I know you hear them. Where does that come? I mean, what do we do about that?
Well, fitness is on the bottom level of our lives. We focus on so many other things, and being in a job comes with a lot of stress. And it's very demanding, especially if you have a family and other things in your life. So fitness take a back seat. But what people don't realize is that fitness can relieve your stress. And the way that I got back into fitness years ago, when I was living on the East Coast, is that I had a very high power job. I was an IT person and very stressful. And I found myself in the hospital. And I thought I was having a heart attack. And the doctor said, no, after all these various tests, it's not a heart attack, it's stress. And then someone on my job gave me a free pass to go to the gym. I'm on the treadmill, I'm working out, and I'm reading my paper. And when I left the gym, I was like, I feel better. And that really started driving me that people don't realize all the benefits of stress. Not the benefits of fitness, and it can counteract stress. So I would just tell employees, I have a list that I want to share, the benefits. Hopefully I can see them in here. It helps you sleep better. All right. It lowers your blood pressure, diabetes. It has a lot of benefits. It also can it just can make you more intuitive to who you are, because when you are working out, for example, when I'm working out, I can go to the gym and I tell my husband I have to go because it makes me focus mentally, physically. And it's amazing how God creates us. We all are different. But I could be working out and have something on my mind and the answer come in there, because fitness kind of have a way of relaxing you into your space, and it opens up your social being so you can receive. So once people realize all the benefits, let's say on the job, they're sedentary a lot, and it becomes like, oh, I just don't have the energy. But fitness gives you energy.
Right. They say sitting at work for over 8 hours or even is like the new cancer.
It is. It is. It leads to obesity because the body is designed to move. And we don't realize that. Even in the Bible, they talk about the ant, how the ant kept building and moving and moving. The body needs to move. Sedentary is detrimental to the body.
I agree. Well, I have followed Dr. Sebi, not like religiously or anything, but one thing that stood out to me with what Dr. Sebi talks about is how mucus generating in the body from being sedentary. And that's why you need to move around. And for those who are working on their career, when you have an upbeat attitude, when you're loving yourself, your managers, the leaders in that organization, they see a difference. They see like the positivity you're bringing into the workplace. But when you're like obese and moving all slow and you look depressed, that's not the person that is going to get promoted, right?
One of the things, as I work as a greatness strategist, I do encourage people to start with their mental, physical, their spiritual, and their emotions. And as they are growing themselves in greatness, as opposed to just trying to get by and be successful, it's a little bit more. We're looking for people to become more exceptional. Want to be exceptional. So when we look at that, it does have to start with love, self-love. And out of self-love, we determine what our vision is for ourselves. So I help people craft their vision, write a narrative. Once they can see who they are, the identity that they desire to be, then you can move into what do I want to be physically? Because you have a vision.
Right.
What do I need to be doing mentally to grow myself? My emotions. I spend a lot of time with people on emotional intelligence. Do we have courage? Do we operate in fear? Why aren't we doing some of these things that we desire to do? How do we build ourselves spiritually? So I do a lot of assessing, as I shared with you earlier, that quick assessment about self-love. But can we take who we are and work in our uniqueness? Sometimes we try to mimic other people and it's exhausting. We never get to the authenticity of who we are. And with self-love, it helps us to take on who we are as a person. Once we can identify our personalities, I often work with people to determine who they are from that standpoint, how they actually operate. You were asking about some people say, I don't want to work out. Well, oftentimes they don't know what it is that their personal body desires. They might not need to go to the gym. They might not work well in a gym. However, as Dr. EP, she's a personal trainer. She works with people in their one-on-one, in their personal spaces.
Help me. I need help. Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry.
And sometimes people need different activities that are aligned with how they're wired. So once we can understand who we are and how we are wired, how we operate in stressful situations, how we are to adjust, how to work with our strengths of who we are and be us. Just trying to copy other people and say, oh, well, they go to the gym, so there's something wrong with me if I don't.
Exactly.
But can I work out in a different way? How do I meet my goals based on my passions and my purpose? I help people to establish environments that work for them based on who they are, their habits, understanding their habits and their systems. How can we grow at least 1% each and every day?
Wow. Well, I mean, you had me at excellence.
Yes. Well, let's go back to excellence. Yes, we often will craft a goal, and especially at the beginning of the year, right? I want to get in shape. What does that look like? Do we look at the entire process, or we just say, I'm just going to do a part of it? And when we just segment it, just only looking at parts of it, then we don't get to excellence. Yes, so we want to craft a goal. Do I need to sleep more? Do I need to drink more water? The whole process of getting fit. In my career, I'm setting a goal to become more proficient in certain tasks in my career. I want to increase my technology skills so that I can be a better service. Greatness is about service. Serve ourselves, give ourselves what we need. Oftentimes we will go into situations trying to be validated, affirmed, getting approval from other people. And when we can give it to ourselves, then we become a vessel to serve.
Okay, we're done. No, I'm just kidding.
But I just want to piggyback on what Dr. Carla was
That's
saying.
amazing.
It's all getting back to the employees that you were talking about. A lot of people fear walking into the gym. They feel that everyone is looking at them, which is not true because we all are there trying to get ourselves together,
Yeah.
no matter
I've
what.
seen people look, I'm like, why are they
But-
looking over here at me?
There's, so for those who fear the gym, you can also work out on Zoom now. I teach classes on Zoom. You can do 101. You can eat. There's different ways you can work in your own private space if that's what you want. So people who are afraid, a lot of times people are afraid of the gym, but the gym should not be the thing that stops them from working out because you get with a personal trainer like myself. I would do an assessment of where you are regarding your health, your physical abilities, and then we move forward with a desired program that works for you. So let's suppose there's a woman who's been sedentary for like 20, 30 years. She's not going to jump on a treadmill and run, run, run. Yeah. You do something that's comfortable for her and set goals that she can work toward. And I think once people get over that fear that, I can't do it or it's going to tire me out, and they realize that the benefits of it is really better than being sedentary. But the first thing is get with someone who can do an assessment of your inner self to help your outer self.
Well, I think about something I said earlier about obesity and being tied to productivity and promotion, and I'm not going to pull that back. I think some people might say, I also do diversity, equity, and inclusion work, and so you have this body shaming. There's certain parts of body shaming, and I just want to be really clear. Like the goal is to be excellent, to be your best self. Obesity kills.
It does.
So it's not, being politically correct or about being politically correct or politically incorrect. It's about having good health and being your best self. And I think for all the women I have in my life who may struggle from obesity, I think it's just an opportunity to look at what can I do differently to be my best self. And I just wanted to be clear about that for anybody who's like, oh, well, I'm fat, so I can't get a promotion. Because trust me, that's what they heard. Oh, you saying I'm fat, so I won't get a promotion? No, I'm saying if you think you're fat, then why aren't you doing something about it? And as you do something about it, and you said it a lot more eloquently than me, you will start to see that, the benefits. And your work is not right. So let's talk about that, like your identity.
Yes.
And how you see yourself.
Yes, identity. When you said people might see themselves, having this excess weight and not even loving themselves. Right. Well, we want to start with even at that point. That doesn't constitute who you are. Right. But the fact that now I embrace and accept myself the way I am, I also want to have the best version of myself, And that means for me, I look at lifelong health. See, I'm not looking at, how do I look and try to get approval from other people? Yes. I'm not trying to get approval from other people. I want to wake up and feel my best every day so that I can give to myself and then I can give to others love.
Yes.
Others love.
I just want to jump in and say I've gained weight, as I've gotten older. And one of the biggest reasons I want to lose weight is not, I'm on social and all that. But when I sleep at night, my hip hurts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel pain in my side when I'm 10 pounds overweight. And that interrupts my sleep. I wake up cranky. I don't feel productive. And I know I'm developing some type of health issues because I feel that pressure on my side.
And it does impact what we get to do with our lives. So if we're looking at greatness, we're looking at qualities. Are we resilient? Are we working with honesty, being honest with ourselves? Are we working in integrity? Do we have self-control? So if we have self-control, then we will grow that and it'll show up. Right. It'll show up. Yeah. So do we have self-discipline? So these are qualities of greatness. So what I do is I work with people to find that within them, not comparing themselves to other people, because that causes low self-esteem. So we want to be confident in who we are, and that comes from that self-acceptance, discovering who we are, and putting in place those behaviors and actions, taking the right actions to support our vision and our purpose.
I also have a solution. I'm thinking about those sedentary people on your job. It really bothers me that we are sedentary. Under under, under the EP Fit Tools Strategies umbrella, I have a product called Resistance Band. And even if you're working on a job and you don't have the time because your 9 to 5 takes up all of your day and you don't have any time in the evening, these resistance bands, they come in a package. You have light, medium, heavy, and super heavy. Even when you're sitting on your job, it like 10 minutes, you know, you take a break and you use these resistance bands to just work out your body. You know, get the blood flowing in the body, because when the blood is flowing throughout the body, that's when health comes through the body. But you even with the legs, simple things, put the bands around your legs, do simple things like this underneath your desk. Sorry. You know, I'm just showing there's simple things you can do. Yes, you take the resistance band, you can do this. Just a couple. You know, do a few reps. You can do some reps. So I recommend that if people don't want to go into a full-blown fitness regimen, just get the resistance bands. And I have about 400 or 500 videos on YouTube that will teach you how to EP Fit. Just Google it on YouTube, and it will teach you how to use those resistance bands for every part of the body. And going back to your hip situation, just moving with these resistance bands like this, it will loosen up that area. You don't want inflammation to build up in your body. And that's what can happen. And then you find yourself going to the doctor for a pill, but you don't need a doctor for a pill. You need to work out. Not you, but I'm talking to our audience.
To our audience.
I know I need, well, this morning I did 3.2 miles, which is a 5K. I walk 3 times a week. I do my Peloton almost 4 times a week. And I'm on my own journey and I feel good. I feel good. I actually lead the Black Girls Run as a run coordinator. And so we do different 5Ks, but I'm just saying that not about me, but join a group. There's women that hike. You got women who golf, women who swim, women who like going to the gym and lifting weights. Now, have you ever done any competitions?
No, people usually tell me I should, but no. I hear that all the time, but no.
Well, before we go too far, how do you two work together? I want to hear, like, if I wanted to hire your Unstoppable Solutions, what would I get?
First of all, I like to start with the greatness plan. So that's the Greatness 365, which helps a person to start crafting out what it is that they desire to have and become career-wise and personally. So we start to develop that. I also have the foundation program, which is self-love for greatness. So with those 2 systems and helping someone set up a plan for themselves through my one-on-one coaching, then that's how we get started. With inside of the 365 Greatness 365, and that's 365 days a year, and the self-love for greatness systems, I work with many people, namely one, Dr. EP, who helps with the fitness aspect of it. So we come together and collaborate. It's not enough to just be fit. We want to be fit for a purpose.
Fit for a purpose.
Fit for a purpose.
That's a camera moment. Get fit for a purpose. You're not just getting fit.
Yes.
For the club.
No.
For a wedding.
No. You're fit.
Or for
Yes.
High school reunion.
Right? To be recognizable.
For the
Yes.
cruise I'm going on in
Yes.
April.
Yes. So
Fit for, I love
so
that. Fit for a purpose.
once we start working together, also work with other people. That's on the mental side. Sometimes people come with childhood wounds. We need to
Yes. I know
just
a lot
kind of
about
settle
that.
those things.
Yes.
Sometimes people have spiritual deprivation. So can we build on the things that we have the strengths in, and then start to minimize the things that we do not want a part of our lives? And so what we do is provide solutions to help people be unstoppable.
So now, I'm just trying to figure out, are you
So you
talking-
don't stop.
Yeah, you
Yes.
don't.
So the things that you offer sound as if they should be covered through a health plan. Can people use their health, the medical plans to get your services? Because if not, I think you should be signed up with Kaiser. Like people should be coming to you for their mental, and
Light bulb
physical health.
moment.
No, seriously.
Like boom. I work with leaders, and I work with entrepreneurs, and then I help people individually. That question, some of the people that I resource out to, they do help. They do have the option of getting services and medical. Yes, I do. I do have people that support, and they can get certain parts of it.
Yeah, I was talking about health savings accounts on another show. And one time I went to a spa to work out some of the cellulite that I don't get worked out in the gym. And it was like $500 to be on the infrared machine and laser therapy. Have y'all ever seen that?
Yeah.
But my point in saying that is they weren't covered by my medical plan, but I was able to use my health savings account plan. And so it sounds like, excuse me, some of the things that you offer, we should be able to use our medical plans and health savings account. Like, take this card. Yeah. So just something to think about in terms of opening up who can access your services. I think it should be. Okay. So what else do you do when you're not doing unstoppable solutions?
I want to go back to what Dr. Carla just said about love. It all starts with starting to love yourself, whether you're fat, skinny, large, short, or whatever. To do any of these things, to become great in your space or become fit in your space, you gotta love yourself first. You gotta go back to the basics, to commit to that no matter what.
Yeah. That's a journey though.
It
It
is.
is.
Well,
It
life
is.
is a journey.
That's the truth.
Well,
That's a
can I
lot.
say this to
Yeah, sure.
your audience? I asked that question earlier about the rating, and I also asked the question, especially if someone gives me an answer, say if they give me a 5 or a 6, I asked the question, what would it take to get to the 10? And oftentimes, it's when I achieve. When I achieve, when I achieve.
When I get here.
I says, okay, haven't you already achieved some things?
Yeah.
And how long has that been? I said, so when you achieve something, when you achieve that, will you love yourself?
Right.
Okay, so once we take it off.
Yeah.
We take that off, and we get them to start that healing. And I often see tears. And what I do, I try to help people get to satisfaction, fulfillment, and joy.
I love it. Oh my goodness. You gave me goosebumps. Well, I've been kind of grappling with this, and I'm going to get your advice for free here.
You got it.
So, coming from the inner cities of East Orange and Newark, New Jersey. Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, really? What point?
I used to live in Patterson.
Oh, okay. I know all about Patterson. That was one of my service areas when I first started doing HR consulting. But I grew up like near Prince Street Projects and this place called Little City and whatever. So I grew up, I was kind of like a street kid. I was just a little bit of a thug, a little thuggish. But, so fast forward now, I got 2 masters, a PhD, these titles, that title. And I've been thinking about that a lot as I've gotten another title. And it's like, okay, how many titles? I mean, come on. I don't even tell people. I'm to a point I'm going like the opposite way. I'm almost embarrassed to tell people I have all these titles. So what's that about? I'm like, because I had another opportunity happen and I got another title, right? And I'm like, I don't want to tell people. What's that about? Somebody help me.
Well, I think if we get we have titles and they serve a purpose. Paper does matter when we need it to serve.
That's the thing.
Okay.
The serve part.
Paper does matter when we need credibility. I can't get up in front of someone if I hadn't put the work in. Okay. So if you're putting the work in, the paper matters. However, it does not connote your self-worth. Your self-worth is who you are. The title doesn't make you honest. The title doesn't make you have integrity. So when you are serving, the paper is there to say, hey, I can do this. But who you are is based on your values and your character. So your character serves and it takes you places. The paper gets you in the door, but the character will keep you there.
Honestly, I read a lot of different and read my Bible and we know about service, but I've never really heard it put that way. So I really feel like that was the word for me. And I hope it was a word for the audience, people in the audience. But you said it. Can you say it one more time about the the purpose of you said it so perfectly. Perfect your purpose and how you serve is in your purpose.
Think about it like this. We're all created to serve. We're all created to serve with excellence. The only way we can do that is to give ourselves what we need, desire, and deserve. So we're not going to look for it through the service. The service to give, but not to take. We're opening up something to each other. But if we're going in there looking for, I served you, and it's transactional, it's not really service. I'm suffering. So can I stop suffering by giving myself love and compassion, patience and kindness and respect? So I give it to others.
But also, I wanted to add to that. Hold your thought for 1 second, please, because it's all about service. No matter what you have, how many credentials you have, we're all put on this planet to serve each other. We just don't realize it all the time. But getting back to you, feeling that you don't even really talk about your credentials because you just get them, but there's something inside of you that desired it, that you fulfilled. Now, you do have that choice to use that for humanity. But right now, whatever that particular one that you're not really acknowledging is that you're not using it to its potential. And I have a lot of associates who've gotten their doctorate and they, what do I do now? It's because they're not doing anything with it. As soon as I got my doctorate, it's like, okay, well, how am I going to help somebody? How am I going to go down this street now that I'm a different person? So with all these credentials, they come to you for a reason. Because you represent to that young Black girl or that young Black boy or that person of color that I've done this, you can do that too. So your life is not about you. Your life is about them.
All right, and thank you for watching that. Well, that is so powerful. When I did obtain my PhD, it was so interesting. That same month I got my PhD, I became a PhD, like a doctor, a coach for other people getting their PhD. And I helped 3 other people get their PhD as their first chair. But that's all I'm saying is that's why I've always been so confident to say, no, my name is Doctor, because I operate in that place of service as a doctor. I teach at different universities and I teach people of color and I've helped them become doctors. So I hear what you're saying and it's like a light bulb moment. I'm like, oh, that's why I don't get weird about being a doctor, because I do use it to serve. Yeah. But I've never, I promise you, never thought about it like that until now. So my new title, which I'm looking forward to going into by the time this airs, God willing, I will be a commissioner. I know.
Yes, that's congratulations.
Commissioner Doctor. whatever.
Yeah, don't
But-
be afraid
but
of the title.
Keep us informed.
And I received as of today, I received my appointment from the mayor. So I'm in the process. You will hear more. But what I want to do, the commission I will be on, serves people in poverty. So it's the
Oh.
commission for community and family.
Can we talk later on?
We can't always
Poverty?
talk, but
Yeah.
I feel like this was a moment of vulnerability for me. So I'm like, I don't want to tell these people I'm a commissioner.
No,
I love
it's you have
But-
to let people know what you can do to serve them, and you qualify.
And that's what I can do for certain
Yes.
because it's a mayoral appointment, and I will be, kind of hobnobbing in the sphere of people who are in politics. Then I definitely can help connect our community to the right council people.
How can we support you? How can we help you?
Pray for me, number one,
You got that.
that I won't have imposter syndrome, which is obviously what I'm going through. And I just want to share this and be vulnerable because as a doctor, I don't have imposter syndrome. I know I'm a doctor. I know I could teach statistics. I could teach. I'm a first chair or second chair. I've taught at 4 different universities, and I'm a doctor, and I've helped people. But this new role, which is kind of dibbling in politics and policy, so how you can help me is by helping me connect the dots. If you see, oh, well, you're working on this commission, our community needs this. How can you help my community? And then I can connect you to a council member. I can connect you to an official. So I feel like that's how I'm going to be used in this seat is, first of all, being one of the few Black women who on the commission. I think there's maybe one other. And being able to share our voice. Like if you have a concern, I'm like, look, this is what Black women want in our community. This is what Black we need fitness. Yeah, they're in poverty, but they also need a gym.
Absolutely.
And you know one thing working in public policy that always blew my mind, there's a lot of people in poverty in our city, in our county of LA County. They don't even have internet. They have food poverty, technology poverty. There's like poverty is so, it's just, you wouldn't believe in this very rich state that we live in. There's so many people in poverty. So again, that's probably why.
And now with all the fires, it's going to get worse.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Now with the fires, it's going to get worse. So hopefully by the time your episode airs, I will be, you can Google me as a commissioner. Right now, it's really just a council action. So
See, God has prepared you with all
Yes.
those credentials
Yes.
that you're talking about. What do I do? God has prepared that for you.
I
You're
feel like
there.
I'm having an out of body. I'm like, what?
No imposter syndrome here. You got it.
Thank you. See,
Yeah.
and I want y'all, you're welcome for these 2 guests. So if anybody's going through, no, this has been really such an amazing, thought-provoking episode. So what's next? Seriously, how do you see this business growing? So I want to speak to our entrepreneurs because they're like, well, how are they making money? What are they? Not tell me all details, but how is this a viable business, and how do you plan to grow the business?
That's a great question. Number one, we want to bring in experts through our podcast.
Okay.
So we want to grow the podcast just like you. That's one of our main goals, to help people by providing solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second thing is we want to offer services that we coordinate through my company, which is Gray's Greatness Group, as well as EP Fit.
Okay.
So we, as I said before, we connect well and collaborate well together. So we're growing our businesses together. The Unstoppable Solutions is the overall umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we bring in resources under that, and we provide those unstoppable solutions by bringing together a full network.
Nice.
Full network.
Also, I have a nonprofit called Nikhil Money Productions. And the purpose of that production company is not only to deal with the fitness and the lifestyle changes, but it's to deal with the arts. Because a lot of times when people have problems, the art can help you solve those problems. It helps you see yourself. So what I'm doing in March, I'm producing what I call a play festival, where playwrights are able to write 10-minute plays, and we're going to produce them for the communities. And the theme is called Be Happy, Be Positive, and Be Good, with the God as the foundation of everything that I do.
love it.
So with that, people are being taught through plays because a lot of times while they're laughing, they're learning.
Oh,
So
awesome.
to add
Yes.
to what we're doing under Unstoppable Solution, it runs the gamut. There's a plethora of areas that people can focus on, even with what you're doing in the politics, because even with productions and strategies, it can help benefit. It can help uplift the people from poverty. And my heart is for, yes, I am, for the African American women who sit a lot, because being raised in the church as a young girl, I would see all these women go from this to this. And I was like, what happened? And then I see the legs go from this to this, not me. So I have a heart to say, come on, ladies. I don't care if you're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Get up. My mom is 98.
Ooh.
She has more energy than some of the people that are 40. Even though she does have mild dementia, but she gets around. So I want to complement every aspect of life. So Unstoppable Solution is there to get people up and living their best lives.
I'm
Yes.
feeling unstoppable just talking to y'all. I'm just like, okay, I gotta get a plan. I worked on my vision board. I have to say, I'm a big advocate of vision. We've been doing every New Year, my family, for New Year's Eve. That's what we're doing. We're eating and putting together vision boards. We've been doing this, and we invite people over, like-minded people who want to do that. And I've seen lives change. My son, one year, my youngest son, I have three, 2 boys and a girl. And he said, Mom, everything on my vision board came true.
Yes.
Like, I got to do a new vision board. I said,
The law of attraction.
yes,
I
the
love
law of attraction, I believe very much. And so I forgot my point, but my point is like, it's really everything you shared is just perfect timing. Perfect timing. So what else can we add to let our audience know? What do they need to know that we haven't talked about?
I think we're all here to live our best lives. We should be about that. And in order to do that, we need to have our health. We need to have our vision in front of us, as you said, the vision board. And then we need to be intentional. We need to be intentional.
And I want to add to that. Come on. If you want to get fit, contact me. Let me help you. I want to serve them. I want to make a difference. So just reach out.
Okay. Am I a narcissist? Because I feel like y'all both talking to me.
No.
I'm like,
No.
I need
You
help.
are already unstoppable.
I need attention.
We're complimenting
I
you.
need a vision. I need it for myself.
No,
So,
you're on the mountaintop.
I'm
You're
on
like
the mountain.
Dr. King. You're up there.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm working on with my therapist. I tell all my business, by the way. But I have a new therapist. I'm happy. She seems really nice. And she said, you know what? We're going to work on hitting goals, not just you talking about your problem.
Right.
And I was so happy because she's one of the first therapists that she's like, oh, we're going to be doing work until we get
Yes.
to a point you won't need to come back here anymore. And so I'm like, okay, yeah. So it's funny, this book, Money on the Table, one of my biggest struggles. And I love what you shared. I'm not just being nice. I'm a nice person, but it's the relationship with money and
Yes.
yourself. That's a big one for me. Like if I don't have money, then I'm doing something wrong.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I'm irresponsible, or I'm not serious. I'm not working hard enough. That means I need to put in 48 hours. I need to get on my grind, hustle more.
Yeah,
and I've been
self-love.
fighting that. I've been fighting.
Yeah, self-love says I'm responsible for meeting my needs and my desires and what I deserve. And so, and I think we brought up things about church. I've worked with people in churches, and one of the greatest things we're told to do is to love others as ourselves. Unfortunately, we don't get it. We can't love others because we don't love ourselves. So let's get back to money. There are things that we have to put in place for greatness in the area of finances.
Right.
So we want to do part of it. The easiest thing that we could ever do is to basically just follow principles. Follow principle. I'm going to automatically have 20% of my income put aside. every month automatically. I don't get to touch it. I don't get to, why do I do this?
Yeah, why do I keep
Because it supports the vision. It supports it. So that's enough to have the why. That's enough to have the why.
But also to add to that is, if you don't have the finances you to have, everything that Dr. Carla said is true. But also get the knowledge
Yes.
in general, because I remember years ago when I lived on the East Coast that I wanted to invest some of my money. So I just happened to go into this bank and they introduced me to this advisor in the bank. And I tell you, he said, I don't want you to invest your money until you're educated on how to do it. And it paid off.
Yes.
So in addition to what you're saying, learn, all right? Get educated, right? On how to invest. But it really shouldn't be all about the money, because money doesn't make you happy. Even though it's cliche, it is true.
Go back to our episode on managing your money with Jasmine Smalls.
Yes, a great episode. Great episode.
But no, great nuggets in there, and just get some help. Like I think in that episode I said, we make friends with everyone else. Make friends with your banker. Make friends with
Absolutely.
your bookkeeper and your CPA.
Yes.
They should be also be in your circle.
And see, with Unstoppable Solutions, we're here to meet you where you are, to take you to where you want to go while having fun.
Yeah, I'm having
Because
fun.
I think, I teach elementary school, and I think learning should be fun. So when I teach a history lesson and the kids don't seem to be getting it because it's boring, and it is, what I do is I create a little play about the history lesson, and then they get into it. So you meet people where they are, because we all learn differently. So we want to tell your audience, come to us. We got the unstoppable solution, and if we don't have it, we'll find it for you.
Well, while I'm looking at you, is there any last things you want to tell to the audience before we wrap up?
Don't be afraid of change. Seek out the mediums that you need, but don't be afraid of change, whether it's financially, spiritually, socially, whatever. Come to me, EP Fit. I'll help you out.
She is fit. Okay, I've asked you once. I'm going to ask you one more time. You said be intentional.
Yes, with Gray's Greatness Group, you can contact me that way on .com. Be intentional about who you want to be, and write the vision, make it plain. And that's what I help people do, especially the young people just starting out. If you have a mentor and a coach that can help you write your vision and write it plain, write out intentional action steps along with identity-based goals and habits. Once you acquire the habits and put them in place and continuously grow and grow and grow every day, you'll live out your dreams. And catch me on weekdays on Clubhouse on Word for the Day. Yes, I have three co-hosts, and we help people with leadership and personal development every day, 5 days a week, only for 15 minutes.
5:45 a.m.
No, 6:30 to 6:45.
That's right,
Pacific.
sorry. Also, I want to tell them that we can be reached on unstoppablesolutions.org.
Yes.
And I can be reached on epfit4u.com, and also dr-McKnight.com.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I feel unstoppable. Okay, got my new title. I'm gonna tell more people about it, and I feel like
No, you don't feel, you are.
I am unstoppable.
That's right.
And I am looking for you to subscribe to my podcast. So when you see this, subscribe, like, comment. Check out my book, The Diversity Dilemma. Let me tell you, we didn't even get to talk about the fact that my book was top 100 on Amazon numerous times last year. But what I'm working on this year with The Diversity Dilemma is doing more speaking and lecturing. Thank you. Doing more speaking and lecturing. I want people to know DEI is not dead. It never will be, because diversity, equity, and inclusion will never die. The book is published by Thatch Roof Publishing. My son and I created the publishing company. And so if you want to be a published author,
Unstoppable for
I'm
sure.
unstoppable. Unstoppable. There needs to be a theme song.
I like that.
Unstoppable.
We
What's the
have
theme
our
song? Okay,
that's
what
our
is it?
theme
Let's sing it
song.
out. Okay, I just made that
I
up.
can't
So,
sing.
okay,
I can't
can you sing?
It is called
Not right
Living
now,
Your
not
Best
off the
Life
cuff.
with Unstoppable Solutions. That's
Okay,
our theme song.
how's it go? Let's hum it out.
Oh,
I'm trying to
Well,
think
we
of the
may not
lyrics.
know about. We're gonna find it and we're gonna end with it. Unstoppable, whatever it is.
Living your best life.
Unstoppable
Solutions.
Your best life with
Unstoppable
Unstoppable Solutions.
There we go.
That's it.
Thank you again for another time with you and Ask Mrs. HR, the podcast. So make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and come back and see us again.
Unstoppable solutions.
Deuces.
Living your best life.
I don't know what to say. Whatever.